This episode of the Party Loaded podcast is proudly sponsored by Audible.com. Check out their awesome catalogue of audiobooks with over 180,000 titles to choose from. And be sure to grab a free audiobook on us and support the show by visiting audibletrial.com/endgame.
Let's party.
Hello everybody, welcome to a very special, for the first time ever, episode 100 of Party Loaded. It's episode 100, oh my god!
They sure are some sound waves on my audio track.
Come on Ollie, where's the Vuvuzela? Do the Vuvuzela?
You mean the air horns?
Oh, whatever. That's the one.
Ow. Yeah, ow.
Can't be an episode 100 without that. Welcome to the show. This is Party Loaded, the video gaming podcast where we talk about all sorts of fun and nonsense and games. The four of us, including myself, Luke Retallick, joined as ever by the full OG crew. We have Ollie.
Hello.
We have Mimo.
Hello.
And we have Jam.
Hello.
Welcome, guys.
Very exciting.
We did it. We didn't kill each other.
Yeah, we did.
We haven't killed each other yet.
That's actually the surprising
I
part.
like how
It's
Jen put
amazing.
"yet" at the end of her sentence. Yet.
Well, it's gonna happen.
It's
Give
true.
it one
It's
more
inevitable. Watch
Well,
those
we
local
have
papers,
killed each
guys.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was such a quiet boy.
Oh, it's one of you, is it?
Yeah. Played video
Very
games.
quiet.
We found extensive video games in their collection. It was obvious.
Video
Play
games are
D&D,
problem.
Actually,
clearly
I
a
must
Satan
admit-
worshipper.
I must admit, if I was ever to pick one of us to go on a killing spree and murder the others, I think it would be one of the two ladies. What do you think, Ollie?
It's definitely Jan.
What I'd put my money on.
She
Yeah,
has
it
access
probably
to
is.
firearms. Enough said.
Fuckers.
This is true. Fuck, I mean, she'd probably be protecting us and manage to kill us in the process.
That's
God knows
more
what's going to go on.
likely.
Yeah. She'd be like, I'm
No,
saving you a
outbreak.
trip.
Oh,
Pew!
shit.
Dead.
Oh, no. All right, well, we got lots of fun and stuff planned tonight. A little bit of a non-conventional episode, not like we ever have super conventional episodes, but lots of things to go through. We're going to have a bit of fun answering each other's questions. We've got some listener stuff to cover as well. But before we get to all of that sort of frivolity, we'll just talk about the stuff that we usually talk about, which is gaming that we've done over the last week or so. So probably a little light on at the moment, because I think we're all getting a bit crazy in the preparation for PAX Oz, which is coming up next week. How many days out are we now, Mimo? We're
6.
super close, aren't we? 6 days!
Wait,
Holy
no.
crap.
Is that right?
No.
No, that's 6 days till I go to Melbourne. I think it's 9
only
days.
day
I think
that
it's 9
matters.
days to PAX.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yep. All right. Well, what's going on in the meantime? Ollie, what have you been playing this week? Did you actually do what we said last week?
What was well? I
Did you actually do what we said last week and sort of try and beat me at Cuphead? Or
haven't
was
finished it
something
yet.
else?
Have you finished it?
No.
Oh, thank fuck. Because I haven't finished it either. But I reckon I'm pretty close. I've finished the second island. So
Okay.
I actually don't know how much I have left, to be honest. I don't think I have that much. I reckon I've got maybe 4 fights left, and then I'm done.
Okay, so from what I would understand, there's probably a roughly equal amount of boss fights on each island, and then like a little sort of finale bit. So yeah, I don't think the finale's as big as a full island. I think it's maybe just a couple of fights. I'm not entirely sure, but so have you fought King Dice yet? Is that something that's happened, or
I will not
is
say.
that to come? Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So
that
any
spoiler?
boss highlights? Anything that you
easily
have
the
liked?
dragon. It was just such a nice, easy boss fight. I really enjoyed it, and aesthetically, I actually really like it because it reminded me of like old school cartoons that I used to watch.
So the mic's not picking this up now, but I'm flipping Ollie off with both of my
That's
hands.
why I was laughing, because Luke found that one super hard.
Well, actually, to be fair, the thing that I found most difficult is actually finding enough time to sit down and actually have a decent crack at a game. But I came super close a couple of times and just couldn't seal the deal. That and you know what it was? Every single time with that dragon boss, I found the first 2 and a bit phases to be super easy. The last phase just kept on killing me every single time.
It is the hardest one,
Like it
to be
turns.
fair.
Oh, it's ridiculous. So it turns into like a 3-headed Hydra beast, and then at that time, it's kind of flying at you from the left, while the clouds that you're sort of platforming on are moving to the left as well. So you're kind of trying to run away from it, as well as dodging all of its crap, and turning around to actually shoot at it is really difficult. So I don't know about you, man, but I actually deliberately got the upgrade that allows you to do the seeking shots for that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought would be useful, but when it comes to that very, very last part, I actually found that I couldn't use it because he fires these little fireballs at you that as soon as you hit them with your shot, yeah, they sort of disintegrate and fly off in different directions. And what I found was better is actually trying to avoid those things altogether rather than sort of blowing them apart, because they just end up killing you if you scatter them, if that makes sense.
Switch your weapons.
Different guns.
Yeah, which is what I ended up doing. Yeah, but it made it a lot more difficult because you couldn't sort of shoot at it directly while you're trying to run away from it. But anyway, this is getting needlessly technical for people who haven't actually played this stage before.
Yes.
Suffice to say, really friggin' hard.
Always don't be afraid to swap out your abilities between fights. I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those fights that if I hadn't a rebound my controls, there's no way in hell I could have ever finished it. So yeah, it was really tricky. But yeah, no, Mimo, have you touched Cuphead again since we talked about it, or have you been distracted by other stuff?
Distracted by other stuff. Yeah. Preparing for PAX. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what else is going on? Any other games, guys?
Yeah, no, so Jam and I got a little bit distracted and played Tooth and Tail. And Tooth and Tail was my birthday present from Jam.
How was it?
It was really good. It is messed up.
Yep.
So Tooth and Tail is a real-time strategy, sort of loosely based on like Red Alert type of things, where you can build base defenses and set up sort of resource gathering. But the premise of the game is that you're all rats/mice of some description, and you're in a, let's say, Russian, like it's basically like the Russian Revolution. And you've got the long coats and those types of things. But the problem with the world is that they eat meat. And since they've run out of, meat that they normally eat, being pigs, they've started eating each other. And so the premise of the storyline is that the son of the leader of the Longcoats was eaten at a banquet table in front of him.
Jeez.
Yeah, and like the rest of the game is just along those lines in a world
So
where it's normal
brutal.
to eat each other. It's super brutal. Jam and I had very little time in the game and then decided to play against one another, and that was interesting. It's super fast-paced. What did you think, Jam?
It was enjoyable, but have not spent enough time in it. I was just clicking on stuff, thinking, oh, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that, and I overcommitted in one area and didn't have resources. But when Imogen smashed through my borders, killed all my people.
Typical
hilarious.
RTS sort of build. Like you play the tutorial and they're like, here's this one thing. Now you're playing with 2 things. Here's 3 elements. And you're like, okay, I get it. And then you jump into like a versus game and there's like 17 different options and you're not sure like what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go.
How to balance.
How to balance your teams. And when you play against each other, you've got 6 spots and they can be chosen. You've got sort of 3 lines or 4 lines of defense. So you can make your army up how you like. So it's got a lot of customization. It'd be cool to get some more time in it, but I feel like this will be a post-PAX adventuring game.
That's a category I'm putting just about all games in at the moment.
Yeah, let's say that's a big category right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
So the violence in that game, like you said, it's pretty full on with the eating each other kind of thing. Is like, given that it's an RTS, is a lot of that actually shown on screen? Does it get real gory?
Super pixel art, really interesting art style. But like when you shoot enemies, they leave like a trail of blood and stuff. But nothing over and above what you get in a normal sort of pixely type of game.
But the meat eating thing, the cannibalism or whatever, is at the core of everything because meat is your resource.
Yeah.
For purchasing and developing units and whatnot. So, it's all about, consuming others in the animal kingdom. It's just vicious.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's any cutscenes where they're like disemboweling each other or
No.
anything crazy
Well,
like
not
that.
yet.
That
It's
I've
just-
seen so far.
Not yet. I'm pretty far
Give
through
it
the
time.
story mode and nothing yet. But there's just like weird things. Like you go into like this room of like your den and there's like these pigs there and one of them's the breeder, the one that just gives birth to children for people to eat. And like one of them's staring at art and he's like, oh, I never realized that you guys liked art. Like, does that make your like belly marble more? I was like, oh, it's too weird. I don't like it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is it 2 factions or are there more than
4.
2 factions in the game?
There's
There's
4.
4. Okay, cool. That's usually my sort of point of test for most RTSs. Like I prefer there to be a bit of variety with the different factions. When there's only 2, I don't find it quite as interesting. So, but yeah, that's good. And they all play a bit differently. Is it kind of like Northgard? How when we were playing that, the factions were largely the same, but had a couple of small differences in the unit
you've got a
types?
swathe of units that any faction can choose from, a huge
Yes.
amount of units. So you choose 6
Right.
out of a list of 20 to 30. So you can have so many variations of team makeup. And learning those, I think, is going to be key to getting good
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a choice you make before you play, or is that sort of during the game?
before you play.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a roster selection.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. That's a different take on an RTS.
It
I think
is.
actually having like a roster beforehand.
Yeah, and also the fact that it's just 6, so you could choose like all 4 from like the heavies line, and so it's just got these like really nice little elements, like really subtle changes that if you've played RTSs before, actually it's pretty neat. Pretty neat. I can see the genius when it got released. Everyone was going nuts about it, and I can see why. It's got like some subtle greatness to it.
Yeah. Nice.
Very cool.
Well, I'm super sad that I didn't get to play The Evil Within 2 this week, so I was really gunning for that, and then things got a bit crazy busy, so I'm going to try and put that one off till after PAX. But, man, there's just the pile when we get back from that is just mounting. It's going to be a busy couple of weeks. It's going to be crazy. But, yeah, I don't know. I suspect when we get back, Wolfenstein's probably going to take all my attention. Just drop everything and start playing that. It's going to be good times. But yeah, anyway, speaking of Bethesda and things of its ilk, so Bethesda's a games company. Games companies tend to do some interesting things sometimes. We have one little bit of news we're going to cover this week, which is something that popped up today. So now, Ollie, you read this article as well, didn't you? Because we were talking about this earlier today.
I did indeed.
So Activision, interesting one that has popped up today. Our original article we saw was actually from the Rolling Stone online site because they have a bit of a games section, which I believe is called Glixel. And they basically reported that Activision was granted a patent this month for a system that it's going to be able to use to convince people in multiplayer games to purchase items for a game through microtransactions. So this is a good kind of follow-on from what we were talking about last week, all the in-game purchases and loot boxes and that sort of stuff. But I'm just going to sort of quote part of the article to put this in context, because there's a little detail that I think is actually quite relevant. So it was basically an exploratory patent which was filed in 2015 by an R&D team that was working independently from the studios, so it's not directly working under Activision. They've also said that the technology is not currently being used. So Destiny 2 being probably the most recent example, this isn't at play in Destiny 2, which is good because that's obviously a game that this potentially could be used in. But basically, the patent is all about sort of a system for driving microtransactions in multiplayer video games. And it deals with how multiplayer matches are configured, specifically how players are selected to play with each other. And the process that is used by the patent is, looks at a wide variety of factors, including skill level, internet latency, availability of friends and that sort of stuff. But if they actually use this system that they've been looking at, some examples that could occur is like the microtransaction engine could match a more expert player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make in-game purchases of items that the better player has got, to sort of, give them an impression of, oh, look, I can compete with this person who's, doing much better than me because if I get the gear they've got, then I'll be on the level playing field sort of thing. And there's also ways that the game would be able to identify what sorts of in-game purchasable items should be promoted to different people based on different data it picks up from them. Like, for example, what's a good one? So if you have a player who gets like a cool item drop, like a sniper rifle or something in a shooting game, this engine could theoretically start putting that player into other game examples where the sniper rifle is a more favorable weapon. They do better. They feel better about the purchase they made. It encourages them to make more purchases. So, yeah. Anyway, I think, suffice to say, it all sounds super fucking sketchy
Yeah.
from the consumer side of
It
things.
is.
So what was your take on that, Ollie?
Normally I'm like, it's business. Like, good on you, you're making money. That's what businesses are about. Even for me, this was a bit like, oh, really? Ooh, okay. I genuinely hope they do not implement this because this is all kinds of wrong in my opinion. Like, and that's
Yeah.
from me, Mr. Meh, it's just business making money. That's what it's there for. But yeah, this is next level sketchiness.
I'm going
As
to
far
call
as I'm
devil's
concerned.
advocate.
Oh,
Go for it.
I was
Go for
going
it,
to
Jem.
too.
Go,
I
Jem.
was going to say the upside is they've explicitly stated that it's not in any of their current games, and if they keep stating that, the fact that it's patented means no one else can use it, which is, promising.
So they're potentially protecting people, which is good, I guess.
deliberately.
That's fair. No.
The devil's advocate that I want to play is that if you think that that's not happening in every single marketing campaign known to humankind since the beginning of marketing as a concept, you are misguided. There is patents for marketing systems all over the place, from like the way that your supermarket operates, from the music that they play, the temperature that they keep things at, smells that they can put into certain sections. You are being influenced in every single marketing transaction, and the best way, if you think that this is scummy, the best way that you can make sure that you're informed is to be just that, is to look into how they market things, how those systems work, how they figure out what microtransactions and what things to advertise to you. Same as Facebook. It looks at the different ways and the things that you look at, and it targets the marketing accordingly. This is only patented because it's the first time it will be used for microtransactions in a game.
I know about all the things you've just said.
Yeah.
Like, I am knowledgeable about that. The reason I dislike this in particular is because it can directly influence my game. And before, yes, I know all those other things influence other aspects of my life. For this to then have seeped into the gaming thing where it deliberately will alter what game you are put in, that is
If it
that is where
overrides
I'm drawing the line
matchmaking,
for that.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
If it overrides
Matchmaking,
sensible matchmaking, then yes,
Yeah.
that's shitty.
sensible matchmaking for and that is literally what it says. Like, it's designed to encourage you to do microtransactions based upon people which already have those microtransaction items.
Yeah.
And
No, I
at
agree.
that point, what's the point of matchmaking? There's
Yep.
no point.
Matchmaking is one of those things that I'd always be interested to figure out how that happens in some instances anyway, but I totally agree. As soon as it
And so-
starts impacting that, then yes.
Yeah, that's why it annoys me. Like, if it was literally
Well,
just like single player game, oh look, this guy's got this cool thing. You could have that as well if you wanted. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. That's fine. I can live with that. But again, because it's affecting a multiplayer experience, that's where it cheeses me off.
Matchmaking sort of system transparency is always a tricky one for a lot of games companies, particularly with games that are involved in more competitive environments like your esports titles and that kind of thing, because the more transparent they are about like how players are matched against each other, the easier it is for people to cheat and game the system. I mean, a great example being Hearthstone. There's a lot of cases of people who deliberately snipe streamers on playing Hearthstone by sort of watching their stream and seeing when they're queuing up for like arena with an X number of wins behind them. So if they can get it right, like there's actually been cases in the past where like whole teams of people will have games in their accounts at different win numbers, so that when they see a streamer go into game, they'll instantly queue at the exact same moment with a arena game that has the same number of wins behind them. So theoretically, there's a much greater chance of them getting matched up against that streamer, in which case then they can just watch their game and see what exactly is in their hand and that sort of thing. So yeah, like it's why a lot of people on Twitch for various different games, not just that, but other titles too, often play with a bit of a delay to kind of prevent that kind of thing or make it a bit unpredictable as to when the queuing's happening. And the more information that games companies give out about how that kind of stuff happens, the easier it is to circumvent some of the things that they put in place to make it a bit more random. But I'm entirely with you, Ollie. Like, I think that, marketing is one thing, like subliminal messaging, encouraging you to do things is totally one thing. But when it starts messing with something that is actually pitched as being a fair, mechanic behind sort of matching people up, that really cheeses me off.
And after you make the purchase too.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
So,
We'll see.
I don't think for a second that Activision patented this to stop other companies from using it.
No,
I don't
that's
think
not the
that's true for a
purpose.
second.
It's a side benefit, though.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
side effect.
Especially, it's one of those things that now people will be hyper aware of how those systems work for Activision games. My main concern is their association with Blizzard.
Yes, yeah, which is certainly true.
Yeah.
And, all of those titles, have a potential, vehicle for this kind of thing to be used in, really.
And a high proportion of microtransactions before really microtransactions was a word. So, yeah, we'll see. They're getting too smart for their own good.
Mm-hmm. When this stuff eventually crops up in a game, I'm sure we will all not know.
Yeah,
Which is
I think by then
unfortunate.
we'll have to have a more formulated opinion about, like we talked about last week, about where our line is for loot boxes and microtransactions, and that stuff will start influencing it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be smart to get around that system.
Yes,
I am going to
Marty.
require all of you to be super smart now, because we're going to get into the super bones of our 100th episode, which is some fun questions and weirdness that we've developed and put together and smooshed into some form of show where you're going to learn a lot about us. About 100 episodes ago, or exactly 100 episodes ago, we did episode 0, where we were like baby podcasters and we didn't know what we were doing. Well, Luke did, but we didn't know what we were doing and what we were saying. And we gave a lot of background. And so this idea came up because, the more you know, we've had 100 episodes together now. Number one, a lot of this information has been spoken about. We have asked questions. Each of us came up with one question. And all of us have had to guess what each of our answers would be to that question. So the way it's going to work is each of us is going to read out our own question, and then we'll go around. For example, Luke's first is the first question. He's going to ask what it is and say, right, what's everyone's guesses for Ollie's? What's everyone's guesses for Jam, etc. And we'll see if we get it right. So you can play along at home, have a think about it. If you've listened to the show and you've heard something and you've picked it up, especially if your favorite host, obviously Jam, you listen to everything that she says, then you might know. Some of the questions we don't know our own answers, let alone what other people would guess for us. And other things people have gone, I for sure know what Mimo's one is for this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, tight, we'll see. So, Luke, what was your question? Take it away. Be the first question.
All right, so this one's a tricky one because it required all of us to sort of go back and check some stats and stuff, and these aren't stats that are necessarily easily available for all of us. But what I want to know is what game has everybody actually spent the most hours playing over their gaming lifetime? If you had to go back and work out which game over your entire lifespan you've actually put the most number of hours into, what would it be?
All right.
Tricky one.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
I had to go into the archives for this one.
All right.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So should we start with Ollie then?
Yeah.
We're all guessing for Ollie.
Okay.
All right. Hit me.
What do you guys think is Ollie's one? I don't
All right.
know.
Luke, what's your guess for Ollie?
I'm pretty confident it would be an FPS of some sort.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say maybe one of the earlier ones. So I'm gonna guess original Counter-Strike.
Oh, see, I guessed the other side of the coin, which was original COD, Call of Duty.
Ooh, okay.
I was going to say CSGO off the back of something he said recently, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, should I go in reverse order? So Jam,
Reverse
with the
order?
CSGO, I have 13 minutes in that game.
Oh! There's my
I
memory.
have my Steam library open right now.
There's my memory.
Mimo, with
Yeah.
COD, not so much. I think the most hours I had in COD was 42.
Okay.
Luke actually came very fucking close. Original
Nice.
Counter-Strike, I don't have the exact stats for, but I didn't play it as much as Counter-Strike Source. So Counter-Strike Source, I have 133 hours in.
That's what I was thinking of. I don't know the differences.
That's fair. CSGO is the new one.
Yep. Good.
So the game that I actually have the most hours in, and this, I have to say it's estimated hours, and that being said, the estimated hours still pushes it way over the Counter-Strike Source one. And that game is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Oh.
Oh, of course it is.
I have played that game
Damn it.
4 times through to completion with an average play length of about 40 hours for that. So I've clocked in over 160 hours for that game.
Nice work.
Wow.
Holy crap.
That's a lot.
Close second for that was Stalker Shadow of Call of Pripyat. I played that through 4 times as well, but a little bit faster.
Interesting.
And
Yeah, no, Vampire I should have picked up on actually because of our recent discussions about that.
you were fucking close with Counter-Strike Source, man. That was a good, solid guess. That's actually in my Steam library. That has the most hours.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
And I promise I did not check your Steam stats because I don't actually know if I can on your account. Anyway, so
Holly
yeah.
hides
There
his
you go.
online status anyway. I don't think we can see anything he's doing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Super Sneaks.
So sneaky.
All right, Jam, what about you? Let's guess for you. So
Is this even a contest?
I mean, I go with my
I think
guess
the three of us
first.
want to guess the same thing.
I go 1, 2, 3, and then say. So 1, 2, 3, and then say the game. Ready?
Okay.
1,
Okay.
2, 3. Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Okay, so those were the two contenders. I'm fairly certain it's Minecraft.
Yay!
High five,
That
Memo.
was, that was not very
I was torn
difficult.
between Minecraft and GTA.
Me too, for a while. I had to think about it and go, yeah, it's Minecraft. But, oh my god, so many hours of my life, far more than yours in Vampire What's It.
Oh no, I'm aware.
So many hours. Love that game. Too easy.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
So, Memo, this is where it gets a bit
if you
trickier.
don't get
Does
this, if you don't
Does
get
it?
this, Luke, we are not friends.
Can we do the 1, 2, 3 again? Because I just want to see how badly Luke fucks this up.
Okay.
All right, after 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Stronghold.
What did you?
Stronghold?
Did you say
Yeah.
Stronghold? Oh
What?
my god! Stronghold. To the woman who sits in her study wearing her Horde hoodie with her Horde
Yeah.
symbol on the wall.
Yeah.
That seemed too obvious. It just seemed way too obvious.
There's a reason it seems obvious.
The reason that it
Oh,
seems
right.
obvious is when Ollie says he spent 160 hours in the game, like my third in line most played game is at least 60 hours more than that, which is Armello.
Yeah, mine's
So I've got a lot of hours in Armello, over 200 hours in Armello.
I
I've
only have
got
74.
I think just more than that in GTA total, but I don't know, a lot of that's screen loading time probably from playing on the potato. But World of Warcraft, I mean, if I was just basing it off how much time I spent in Armello and how long I've been playing Armello, which has been, 3 years now, I played WoW for probably 2 years solid and then on and off for another 2 years. 2 years solid meant that was the only video game I played. Like, I didn't play
That's
anything else.
terrifying.
Not a single other game. I didn't own any other games. I maybe played Stronghold before that and probably for a fair few hours, but I would not be surprised if someone was watching me and would say it's like 500 hours that I've spent in WoW. Would not be
That is
surprised. I
epic.
don't know if Blizzard has those stats somewhere, but yeah, it's a lot. It's scary a lot. It's life wasting a lot of video game.
It's fond memory.
Yeah. And Luke didn't get it. Oh, man. I mean, Stronghold.
Yeah, I feel like that was probably a little too
Yeah,
obvious. Anyway.
bonus points for like remembering the other game that I waste my time with. So that was good.
Yeah.
That was my runner-up.
Was I sort of at least picking something that you have spent a lot of time on?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
probably spent a lot of time on Stronghold, but various Strongholds is the problem.
Okay, split across different
Probably
tiles.
spent more
Gotcha,
time
gotcha.
playing Caesar than Stronghold.
Okay. Interesting. All right, well, what do you guys think mine is?
All right, my guess for Luke was Hearthstone.
Ooh,
Really? See, I was going to guess that, but I feel like he's put larger chunks of time into Minecraft.
and I was gonna say Pokemon. Don't know which one.
Oh, but there's so many Pokemons. That's
I
the
know.
problem.
that's-
If you
I
wrap
don't-
them all up, surely Pokemon would be it.
Yeah, depends how you classify the question.
All right, Luke, what is it?
All right, so similar to Ollie, I couldn't actually check the exact numbers because both the games that it was between for me are not on Steam. However, neither of them are Hearthstone,
Oh,
Oh,
and neither of them are Pokemon,
what?
and neither of them are Minecraft. So, Pokemon Jam, I think, is the same issue as Memo would have with Stronghold. Like, I've put a lot of time into a lot of different Pokemon games, so it's not one single
Can I
game.
have a runner-up guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, can I have a runner-up 2 guesses? It's
Yeah.
it's like it's a
If you're
Zelda
quick.
or it's Metroid.
Okay. No, on both
Damn
counts.
it! Continue.
All right, so I actually had to do a bit of a calculation as to how many hours I put into Hearthstone because I was able to work it out roughly on my average sort of playtime per week, which, because I do play Hearthstone almost every day of the week, and I can roughly say how many hours I put in on an average sort of month. So by my best guess, and this is sort of accounting for a few spikes and troughs here and there, I think I've probably put about between 12 to 1,400 hours into Hearthstone. Okay? So that's a guesstimation with a bit of math. And the two that I'm thinking of are definitely higher than that. Like, I'm not even in doubt. So they're slightly older games. Now, the first one that it's potentially up between is actually Red Alert, the original Command & Conquer Red Alert.
Yeah, of course, yep.
Yep. Because I played that solidly for years, and like literally it was almost the only game I played. So that I would have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of hours in that potentially. But the other one that came close, and I think that this might be slightly less than Red Alert, but it would have been not too far off, is actually the original Neverwinter Nights as well.
I spent a lot of time in that game. I didn't think about that one.
Well, the reason why that one was a big one for me is because there was actually a bunch of servers that I played on in a way that would be very similar to the way that you played WoW, Mimo.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was the problem with
where
Noon.
there was actually... Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like a lot of heavy roleplay sort of going on, and like, because I didn't actually get into WoW until sort of later on in the piece, and this was kind of what I was doing instead. So I think I was maybe just playing WoW, but not in WoW, essentially. So, yeah.
Noon is the only
there you
game
go.
that I've played for almost 24 hours straight.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Yeah. LAN
I
parties
probably
for
did
life.
sometimes too. Such a goddamn good name,
Yeah.
though. Oh my
It was
god.
pretty
I feels like such a rookie gamer compared to you guys.
You've got so much more life to burn.
Yeah.
So did anyone sink massive hours into any of the Diablos?
No.
I'm surprised that didn't qualify for anyone.
No, yeah.
I've played 3 the most, but nowhere near as much as
I think
that.
some of our other friends, that would be way up there.
Yeah, I've only
Yeah,
played
yeah.
20 minutes of Diablo ever in my whole entire life.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a big missing Blizzard part of the puzzle, as with StarCraft. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, Ollie, what's your question that
All right.
we're going to get on to?
My question was, who is your favourite video game character? Which we're going to start with, looking at you, Jam.
Jam's like the easiest, I
I
think.
know, I'm so fucking transparent.
Oh, if I get this wrong, I'm a bad friend.
I'm going to get this
You're
wrong.
a bad
I know
person.
I'm going to get this wrong.
Do the can
Are
of free
you
thing.
fucking serious? If
I
you
have-
guys don't
I
get
have
this, you are
anxieties.
terrible.
I
have
hope
anxieties.
Luke is wrong
I
so
have
much right
anxieties.
now.
Let's not,
If I'm
let's
wrong,
not do
I'll
the
be
1, 2,
shocked.
3 thing. Let's just guess.
All
I
right.
got to put it out there because I can't deal anymore as Commander Shepard.
No.
Damn
I was going to guess Wheatley.
Luke,
No, it's Garrus.
Memo wins.
Yeah! Fuck you, Luke! Suck it! Suck it!
Commander. Well, I mean, Garrus is pretty close. Let's be honest. He was my bro, but only because I heart Commander Shepard, particularly Fem Shep. But whether I was playing her Renegade or Paragon, she fucking rules.
I have in
And-
brackets femship.
I have a list of 12 amazing characters that I think have been written perfectly, like just super entertaining, and Commander Shepard just trumped everyone every time I seriously sat down and considered it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And we even
Luke,
played a
that's
D&D
hilarious.
game
That is
where
so
you
hilarious.
played Commander Shepard as a character.
I love the confidence Luke had.
I know.
love it.
It's Garros.
was
It's
pretty
Garros.
friggin'
I'm like,
confident.
when I
You
said
were very close.
Commander Shepard, and Luke's like, nah. You're wrong.
Wrong.
We'll never stop rubbing that in your face.
Great. That was
Oh,
so
shit.
great. I'm so happy right now.
Smug face disengaged.
I need to look up the name of this person because I know what they look like. So we're going to go to Mimo next.
Oh, Ollie,
So
I
we're
bet
gonna
you
guess
already looked up
Nemo's
the
one.
name. I might be able to save you the effort. My guess,
I think I
His
know Memos, but
main
I'm not as
blood
confident.
Tauren leader.
Oh.
Okay, mine was, I don't know the name. I feel really bad.
Someone else?
It's the elf archer for the Horde. What's her name?
Yep, that's my guess
Oh.
too. I'm going to guess Sylvanas Windrunner.
That's the
Honest.
one. Thank you. That's the one I was going to guess.
Yep.
Oh, dear.
We're all wrong?
None of that.
Just no. Jam is 100% correct, and you guys. It was always going to be a WoW
What?
character. And Sylvanas is later on in World of Warcraft. So I fell in love with Bane Bloodhoof well before Sylvanas was a
Bane
main
was
character
her
of the
bro
Horde.
for
Because
life.
Sylvanas, if we all remember from her extensive lore experience from the World of Warcraft, Sylvanas was originally not Horde.
I'm just going
Okay,
to
I didn't
shrug
even
and
know
go,
that.
sure.
Well, she was from a race of
Okay.
people who were in the Alliance. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
High five,
so,
Mimo.
Bane
didn't know you
Bloodhoof,
guys.
my chieftain in World of Warcraft and in my heart.
I do vaguely remember
gotta
you
say-
saying that line before.
Yeah.
Can Bloodhoof is a pretty fucking cool Hearthstone card too. So
Yeah.
yeah, nice.
All right, we're going to guess Luke's.
I think I've
gonna
got
go
this
for-
one.
All right, do you want to say yours then?
Yeah.
You seem confident.
I
All right.
don't know like the words, but I guess I just wrote down Samus from
Okay.
Metroid something. I don't know the words.
Jam, what do you reckon?
So it was, that was one of my top ones. And I also wondered if it was one of the ladies of Uncharted, Chloe or Nadine, after your glowing review
Oh,
of
yeah,
their
true.
characters.
Damn it.
Okay, my guess, Samus was up there for me, but I feel like it might be Link.
Ooh.
I had a backup. So
Yeah.
oh,
What was
should I
your
say my
backup?
backup before Luke says? It was
Yeah,
like
Yeah, say back
Kid
up.
Icarus? Because it was
What was it?
Kid Icarus?
Oh.
Because it was your first game, Heart.
All right. Do you want me to say?
Nah,
Yep.
well, nah.
right,
Let's
keep
just
it a
move on.
mystery.
Yeah.
Well, you're all wrong.
Damn
yeah,
it.
no, it's none of those. Yeah. So it's not Samus, despite the fact that I've made very clear that Super Metroid is my favorite game of all time. Samus Aran, not my favorite character, and I think part of the reason for that is because the character of Samus doesn't actually get hugely developed until later Metroid games, and even then, it's pretty surface level. Like it's a bit like Link in the Zelda games, where the games are sort of more about the world than the main protagonist, if that makes sense. I mean, there's a few exceptions to that in different Zelda games, but yeah, no. So for me, it is actually, surprise, surprise, the same as Jam. It's FemShep.
Oh, there you
But
go.
I will put one clause on this. It is my FemShep. Because the thing about Shepard is that character is exactly what you make it throughout the playthrough of the Mass Effect trilogy. And my FemShep was a renegade, and the sort of story that I took her through, just because of all the agency that you've got and actually crafting that tale yourself and some of the decisions you have to make, that made me more invested in that character than any other I've played in a game.
It's
but if I was to
funny-
pick a runner-up, it would probably be Solid Snake.
Ooh.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because I feel more attuned to my Paragon FemShep, who I carried through all three games, than the Renegade one that I jumped in to replay now and then. Renegade was fun as hell, but the Paragon FemShep was just epic. Except I would always punch the journalist. Doesn't matter how Paragon I was playing, I will always
worry,
punch
Jam.
that goddamn
Everyone
journalist.
punched the journalist.
Hashtag
You're not
fake
Shepard if
news.
you don't punch the shirt.
It's true.
journalist.
It's true.
That's
All
right.
right, limber up, kids. What is Ollie's favorite video game character?
Oh,
I have
this
two
is
guesses.
This is
so...
tough.
I
Okay,
really-
I don't have a character. I have a game. So because
Okay.
I don't know, and I did research, and then there was just all of the stuff. It was like a character, a vampire from the Masquerade thing, Vampire of the Masquerade thing.
Okay,
That was my guess.
It's a solid guess. Solid guess.
Luke, what did you think?
I'm just looking at the names, so you go.
Okay.
Okay, I had it between two. I really didn't know, but these were my two guesses. Either Geralt or Corvo.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, Corvo was the one I was looking up.
Oh, okay.
But now that you said Geralt, I'm actually very tempted to pick that because that's another solid guess. Oh, man.
Just deep down, I feel like Ollie would want to be a vampire.
Oh, yeah.
Who
I do,
doesn't?
but I don't know the names of any of those fuckers.
Neither did I. I just guessed the game. I'm like, this one? This is the one, Jam, where I said it's Vampire from the Thing. I couldn't remember what the name
That's
was.
who Ollie's favourite is.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess Geralt only because I think that his story's better developed. So,
So, it is not from Vampire.
Damn it.
I'm sorry, Mimo. Though there are some amazing characters in there.
Oh.
It is not Geralt, even though he is one of my favorite video game characters.
Oh, well, that reassures me then.
Yeah. He is well up there. Like, super up there. My favorite character, and it's a trifecta, is Shepard. it's
I was
male
about to
Paragon
say,
Shepherd.
Don't
Oh
say
my
fucking
God.
shepherd. Oh my
No,
god,
he-
you guys could just all circle jerk over there.
And again,
This is
it's
hilarious.
like Geralt's
How am
very
I on a
much his
podcast
own.
with these space
Yeah,
commandos
we
over
love
here?
space.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, the reason being Geralt's his own character. Like, you do influence the way he goes through, but he has very much got a set background and stuff like that. Whereas Shepard, you can very much make your own, and so the investment level is a bit higher for me for that.
Yeah, I think we're
For
all on the
that
same
reason,
page.
also, though, I think some people might feel that we cheated and that it's not a true answer
That's fair.
because it's
Geralt
not.
is a super close second for me.
No, I also feel
Super
like the
close.
genuine surprise in our voices and laughter. I mean, we're not that good actors, guys. We're really not.
The script writers are fantastic for this
No,
episode.
but
So
cheating
good.
as in, does it count as a character when it's so malleable and when there's so much choice involved in
If
the
we
character's
disqualify
outcome?
Shepard, Geralt gets it for me. Geralt, sorry. Geralt.
Geralt.
Fuck me.
Gerald.
Gerald.
Yeah.
Jeff from The
Gerald
Witcher.
from
Yeah,
the
I've
era.
got like 10 runners up, including him, if we disqualify Shepard.
That's going to be the episode picture now, Ollie. It's going to be a GIF of Gerald.
A
Oh,
GIF?
God.
My runner-up was Spyro, and none of you guessed that. Freaking love that little
That's
squirt
adorable.
is like
If I
so
didn't
cute.
know Memo that
Yeah.
it was Bloodhoof,
Yeah.
Spyro would have been way up there.
Yeah. Bloody hell. All right. I'm disappointed. Both shocked and disappointed. Who's got the next question?
My question is next.
Oh, this one's
And it's
tough.
It's
This
tough
was tough.
because you got to think about it and accept certain things. But it's which video game universe would you most like to live in? What's and all.
Mm.
And it's tricky because if characters can respawn easily in the universe because of game mechanics,
I
does
can
that
live
count?
forever.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky, I reckon. Should we start with Luke?
Okay. My answer for Luke is ridiculous because I honestly couldn't pin one down. Because it was like you said, like it's like I would pick things that he would think were fun, but would he want to live there? I don't know.
There's plenty of
Yeah,
fun
I-
universes.
Yeah, pretty of fun stuff. So I chose one that I think he would be like super cool, and especially if he got to play the main character. For Luke, I picked Doom because he'd get to listen to like metal and like shoot shit all the time. And I think
That's
he'd
an
love
awesome answer.
that. Yeah, I think he'd love the
love
shit
it.
out of that.
So for Luke,
Alright.
I picked Pokemon because he gets to like try 100% shit and compete with others and stuff.
Aw, so cute.
And it's also
Oh.
cute.
I was going to go Pokemon as well. Sorry. It sounds very cheatsy doodle. I actually have a Word document. I actually put effort in this time. But yeah, I was going to guess Pokemon. Because it's the most, like, live-inable universe out of all the games he plays.
Yeah.
It's true.
Zelda
We're-
probably would have been a very close
Yeah.
runner-up. Hyrule
Yeah.
was the runner-up for me. For Luke.
Hyrule's a fucking dangerous place.
Yeah, but so are most games.
And there's
Super
bird
friggin'
people.
dangerous.
Fucking bird people.
But there are no more dangerous places potentially than the Doom setting. Holy shit, man.
Only if you got to be a badass. I think you'd fucking love being a badass. Anyway,
Yeah, even as Doom guy, I would never want to live.
listen to metal all the
place.
time. You'd be like, fuck
Holy
yeah, you can
shit.
high five yourself all the time. It'd be great.
I'd do that anyway. Yeah. So yeah, well done, guys. The other two of you nailed it. It was Pokemon.
Hey, good job.
Yeah, mostly because, yeah, as you pretty much said, like it is a setting where I think it would actually be nice to live in, and most of the threats in those games are never actually to you as the trainer because your Pokemon, your stump doubles, they do all the dangerous stuff for you.
You
So,
bastard.
and I could be the best, like no one ever was.
True.
Aw.
You'd be
Alright.
Team Rocket.
What about Ollie?
All right.
What do you guys think? Because I don't really know.
Okay, I chose Ollie. This is like, you know at Christmas when you like give people a gift and you feel like you have to explain why you bought the gift because then it makes the gift better.
Yeah.
So all of the choices that I chose for you guys are because like I have feelings for like why I put you in these worlds. I feel like I've transported you there and this is why. So I put Ollie in this world because it's pretty and the art's really cool and it's known for being like a cool arty thing. And I picked Abzu and then Ollie could just chill out in a cool world.
Ooh.
That is actually a really good answer. Like, it actually makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
because you
love
really
that.
liked the game. You thought it was really cool and chill.
It
and
was.
yeah.
it was a very nice, chill, calm, relaxing game.
What What about you,
Jam,
Luke?
what do you reckon? Oh, no, Luke?
Oh,
All right.
I was going to
What?
field it
I'll go
his way.
first because I know that I'm wrong, but I'm gonna guess anyway. I'm gonna guess the Star Wars universe, and the only reason why I'm gonna guess that is because I think it's one of the heroic settings where the good guys on the side of the light have more agency in their own destiny than a lot of other settings where they tend to just get ground up in the gears of war. So, because I think that Ollie would probably want a bit of action and adventure, but not like a grim, dark setting where good guys are regularly sort of just losing
Dark
all the
Souls.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a Dark Souls sort of
40k
setup.
for me, please.
Yeah, exactly. So not quite that grim dark. Like there's definitely a lot of risk and there's definitely a lot of sort of suffering and evil in the Star Wars setting. But by the same token, there's a lot of light and a lot of goodness, and that tends to win out more often. So for the action adventure and that sort of tip in the scales of the balance of good, I thought that maybe that would be a good guess, but I'm pretty sure I'm wrong.
All right.
So
Right, Jam.
I'm leaning towards something that is grimdark, but you get to avoid the consequences as such so much. So if you were
Okay.
to say be a vampire in a setting that you love with less perhaps mortal consequence. But I really don't know. So what is
Well,
it?
okay. It's
He'd be a Nosferatu if he was.
Oh fuck no!
Definitely.
Those guys get shat on constantly. No, I would not actually want to live in the Vampire the Masquerade universe. That thing is fucked up. Like no, even if you're a vampire, that shit is whack. The Abzu one, I really like the explanation for the Abzu one. Luke, you're not far off with the Star Wars one. You're not far off. I'm actually really surprised Jam didn't pick this one. Actually, I'm actually genuinely surprised. The universe I
Really?
would like to live in is the Mass Effect universe.
Aw.
Ah,
Aw.
interesting.
Again, because of the whole, I love the idea of space exploration, and it was actually really close between Star Wars, Mass Effect, and No Man's Sky.
Oh,
Universe
okay.
I wanted to live in, yeah, simply because of planetary exploration and sci-fi. Like the idea of going, I can just visit another planet. This is fucking amazing, and it doesn't take me 15 centuries to get there. This is glorious. Like,
So it sounds like you'd be a bit more on the Mass Effect Andromeda side of Mass Effect
not
than
even
the
regular Mass
frontiersman
Effect.
sort of stuff.
Even just regular,
Yeah,
just visiting cool places and being like, that's a fucking alien, sweet. Like,
I
That's just
understand. Say
fantastic.
no more. Sorry, sex. I get it.
Yeah.
fucking once you go blue jam, you never go back.
Oh,
plus
man. Welcome to
everyone
the
just bangs everyone
Mass
else.
Effect
It's just
podcast,
a
everybody, where
giant
we just talk
space
about how
orgy.
great Mass Effect is all the time. It's the best game ever that I've never played.
No, the universe I love. I love that universe to bits.
Aw.
It'd have to be post Mass Effect 3 though. After Mass Effect 3.
I've got none for
during
none,
Mass
guys.
Effect.
None
Fuck
for
that.
none.
Yup. Yeah,
I don't wanna get
it's super
reaped.
dangerous.
Don't get
What about
reaped.
Mimo?
See, I know which universe she loves. I don't know whether she'd want to
Yeah.
live there.
Ditto. I want to say wow. I want to
Yeah,
say wow
that
because
was
it's such
straight
a big
up.
part of her life.
Yep.
I don't think it is though.
No. Alright, can I go first? The Minecraft universe.
Ooh. I don't think so.
I know.
I don't think she'd be down with pooping square blocks. I just don't.
They don't
They
poop.
don't poop.
They just live.
Luke, Jesus.
No, they do it off camera. Come on, jeez.
Oh, I see. So not only is it all blocky, but you've got a little camera following you all day. That's great. Sounds impressive, man.
Some 12-year-old angrily yelling at you.
I'm really torn with this one. I don't know. Hat off a boyfriend? Do you want to date pigeons? I don't fucking know.
I'm not giving any responses until
Oh my
Jam
God.
guesses.
I literally have no ideas. I'm not going to say I'm mellow because I think that place is pretty friggin' dangerous. So I don't think that would be it.
I couldn't go past WoW just because it's such a special place.
I wanted
So
to say
living
WoW
in WoW would
so badly.
probably
Well,
a bit traumatic.
Nobody
So
got
cool.
Nobody got it, of course we didn't.
it. Nobody got it.
Oh, it's gonna be the Sparrow, isn't it?
solid props to Jam. World of Warcraft was a high consideration of mine, but there's a lot of political shit going down in World of Warcraft. I
Yeah.
do not want to be part of that if I can avoid it. Having said that, my actual answer maybe. Funny you say Hatterful boyfriend, Luke. I put down 3 answers initially, and Hatterful boyfriend was one of them because I was like, why the crap wouldn't I want to live in a world where you could date pigeons? Like, this is amazing.
Vindicated.
I put down like Hatterful boyfriend, and I can't remember what the other one was, but yeah, like a weird obscure land, like where weird shit happened. Just because that would be super fun. My answer.
Oh, can I have one more guess?
Yeah,
Can I have one
go
more
for
guess? I think I know what it is.
What?
Persona?
Incorrect. Persona was the other
damn
weird
it.
world that I was like, yeah, that'd be super cool to live in there. Like, that'd be neat. What was your guess, Ollie?
I guess the Minecraft one.
Nah, no, it's not Minecraft. I'm Minecraft. If I lived in the world of you've played Minecraft with me, dude, I'd be lost perpetually for the rest of time. I would be like, Jam, port me back to somewhere I'm lost again.
Just teleport. It's fine.
Where's my base? I'll make a base. Where's my base?
Guys, press
make a base.
F3 and tell me what your coordinates are. I'm lost again. No, my answer was Skyrim. Well, Elder Scrolls, the Elder Scrolls universe.
Really?
Because
That's so
fuck
brutal.
yeah, fucking dragons and like all of that shit. Yeah, I'm down. And there's magic and yeah, no. And I mean, it's a bit of a grim world, and it does have, you know, the political shit going on. It's got class race going on and all of this sort of stuff. But the whole dragons and the Fus Rodar, yeah, I'm down. I will be Dovahkiin.
Would never have picked Skyrim for you.
Neither.
That's an
Yeah, I'm
interesting
so
one.
surprised.
I've played
That's
the
really
shit out
cool.
of Skyrim. I love Skyrim. I'm all about it. It's just not a multiplayer game, so I stopped playing it when I met you jerks.
Fair enough.
Nice. Actually, I've got to say, GTA probably wouldn't have been a bad pick for a lot of us too, because if you get shot up to death, you just get ejected from the hospital like a few minutes
Yeah.
later. So, you know,
Yeah.
risk is pretty low.
True.
Yeah.
Right, what about me?
Oh.
Oh, okay. I picked for Jam because when I came to my Skyrim epiphany, like, it's like the Witcher universe. I don't know what that land is called. I also don't know a lot about the Witcher. I just know that Jam likes it. So that's what I chose.
I'm being boring and guessing Minecraft because I think Jam actually would like to poop square blocks.
So weed forever.
Okay, you're wrong. Ollie?
All right. See, I was torn between GTA, Guitar Hero, and The Witcher.
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero.
I like it.
Living in the Guitar Hero universe?
You're just a rock star.
Oh, okay.
Constant
Sweet,
rock star.
Sweet. No, okay.
Yeah, I was going to go The Witcher. I was going to guess Witcher.
Sadly,
That's a dark freaking place.
none of those are correct.
Oh, man.
Mine is also the Mass Effect universe.
Oh my God, guys.
100%.
Guys.
I'm suspecting for different reasons,
Guys.
though. Am I right?
Not for
Garrus
Asari
sex,
sex.
not Asari
Yeah,
sex.
alien sex.
Garrus, yes, 100% Garrus. So, it's the mind boggles at the thought of interacting with alien races and exploring the universe and scientific advancement. It's so fascinating, and even though so much shit is going down in that universe, there is so much good in it and so many interesting and fascinating things, and just nothing else compared.
High five,
It would
Mass
be
Effect, bro.
Amazing. Hells yeah, high five. And then when you said it, I was like, well, I didn't guess it for you because it's mine, and I didn't want to
Make
tip
it obvious.
that off. Yeah.
Fair.
Oh, but yeah, that would be so incredible.
All right.
Learning
Okay.
so much.
Yeah, I am learning so much. I feel bad. I feel like a bad friend. I'm sorry, guys. I'll pay more attention for the next 100
I didn't
episodes.
get very many right. We're not even
I
done
think we're
yet.
actually doing better than I expected.
Yeah. We're learning. It's fun. And the audience is learning as well, an awful lot. All right. My question is a little bit difficult. We sort of went up in difficulty range, and
We really did.
The question is your favorite thing about the last 100 episodes, and this had a part to it. Is whenever like a big show or a sitcom gets to like a milestone, they play like a clip show. So this is our like version of a clip show, guys. Welcome. Also, if people don't know what their favorite part is, we've all guessed for each other what that might be, and so if people aren't really sure what their favorite one is, they're going to find out a whole lot about other, like, oh yeah, I remember that. We'll note, Luke and I have a distinct advantage because we're the only two who actually listen back to the podcast after it's recorded. The other two
And
just wipe
I-
it from their memory and go on with their lives.
I have a distinct disadvantage in that I don't remember.
Yeah.
Even
Gem also-
scrolling back through the show notes, I'm like, I really don't have answers.
Yeah,
so
so-
I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what we might do is do guesses for Jam first, because we're basically telling Jam what we think they are. Because otherwise, if we go through everybody
Yes.
else's, we're going to cover off the ones.
Whatever you
that are
say,
stuffy.
it's going to be really close between what you come up with and Luke being wrong just now.
I suspect that Mimo and I might actually guess the same thing for this
Oh,
one.
cool.
And I'll
Tell
just
me.
be left field.
Tell me.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that Luke and I will guess the same thing. So, Luke, what's your guess for
Okay,
Jam?
maybe not. All right, well, mine is based on the fact that, as Jam just said a second ago, she's got a mind like a goldfish, so she only remembers 5 minutes ago. So I think that probably Jam's favourite memory, because it's one of the most recent ones and she will actually remember it, is Nazi Rage.
That's very easy. Ollie,
Was
what's
it
your guess?
Amy?
I was going to wait for you, to be honest.
Oh, for me?
Yep.
My guess is that I picked an actual episode for this one, and it wasn't one that I was on. That wasn't why it was her favourite, but the game mashup episode. I think Jam really enjoyed that one.
Interesting. Ollie.
Okay. I reckon for me, for Jam, was her wrap-up of Persona 5.
Ooh, another very good one.
They're all good guesses.
They
Nice.
are, and I have to say one of them was seriously considered. I think Memo's
I'm just going
right.
to find episode names while you're going through this.
Mine's
Okay.
from 91, if that helps,
I'm
Luke.
pretty sure Memo is right. The game mashup was one of the first ones that came to my mind, other than our PAX roundups.
Yeah. I
That
mean, it
I
was a
thought was
pretty good
fascinating.
idea for an episode, right?
It was brilliant. It was Memo's idea, and then she missed out on it. And I had so much fun, and I can't wait to do it again and hear Memo's thoughts on it. So that's probably a high contender, along with every time Luke's wrong.
So Jam's favourite episode is this one, because Luke's been wrong a lot.
Could be every friggin' week. Let's
All
narrow
right.
it down.
What do we think Luke's... Oh, actually, let's go Ollie first. What do we think
All right.
is Ollie's favourite thing about the last 100 episodes?
I know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you do.
That's great, Ollie.
My guess is because, again, Ollie loves to prove that he can do things that we tell him he shouldn't do. So I think that Ollie's favourite part of the last 100 episodes was the podcast that he played Cluster Truck through.
Good answer. I actually have
That
one
is a
for
good
Ollie.
answer.
I think his favourite moment in recording the last 100 episodes is when Luke was doing the lead up and he said something absolutely foul and fucked up his count, and we had to start over.
I made him
That was
laugh.
pretty
yeah.
funny.
Yep. That was actually my exact guess as well.
It's also right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can't
Damn
remember
it.
which episode number it was because it's an ongoing thing. I've got a whole bunch of them sort of
So-
saved
Oh,
as
no.
you know,
Luke
little
always
clips.
does a countdown.
And if I have time to dig through, I might chuck a couple on as Easter eggs.
Oh,
but
that's-
Ollie has this habit, and he did it last week to Bimo. It was pretty funny. Ollie has this habit of throwing in like the most like obscene, foul word you possibly can,
And
just when
obscure.
we're about to start the episode, and you just. I usually get through most of the time without giving it a second thought and, start off. And there was this one time where I was just like, what the fuck did
Yeah.
you just say?
what the
cracked. We all
actual
cracked.
crap? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I
God.
crack
Yep.
every time. It's just I get to laugh silently in the background because I don't have mute. Yeah, that one gave me the giggles.
And it's not every episode. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
they're always on their toes.
But good
Always on
guess,
their
right?
toes.
I got a good guess.
That was
Bo-
very good
Bonus
guess.
points for good
That's
guess,
hilarious.
paying attention. I got
That was
good
a very
ones for this.
smug moment for me, I have to admit.
Yeah, you were
Like, yes, I did it.
super
I did
proud.
it.
Super proud.
Yeah, as it turns out, though, it wasn't because the word itself put me off. It's because I didn't actually hear you and I needed you to repeat it. So,
Oh, I heard it.
yeah.
That was disgusting.
Oh, I heard it. Okay, so now we have to pick what we think Luke's favourite moment of the last 100 episodes were. And now this is pretty difficult because, I mean, Luke, you listen to these, like, ramblings of us multiple times and you hear stuff that, I don't know, like your favourite moment could be like when somebody sneezed and didn't mute and it was hilarious timing or something like that. But I'm going to go first of what I think that your favourite moment of the last 100 episodes, it was also a recent episodes, and I've got 3 words for you, and it's evil steeple fingers.
Evil hand fingers? Yeah, that was
Evil
up
hand fingers,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, that's not it, but you guys keep guessing.
Okay, so
All right.
my guess, and this again, my memory is fallible. But my guess would be discovering a kindred spirit in Luke Lancaster, the PAX Oz content manager.
Oh, yeah, that was cute.
Because you guys realized that you were fucking twinsies. And
Yeah.
we still have to get you in the same room at PAX to prove that you're not. Because that was bullshit.
All right. My one will be that smug reaction that he had when we all realized Mima was not going to finish Ori in the Blind Forest.
Oh, that's like every second episode.
Yeah,
It's
every
true.
time, every moment he gets to bring that up, that's Luke's
Yup.
favourite moment of the last
Yup.
100 episodes, for surezies. For surezies. It's my least
All right, well,
favourite.
I'll start by saying that Ollie is completely wrong because
Oh.
I actually really want Mimo to finish it because I'm cheering for her to do it, not because I don't want her to. Yeah.
Really?
I actually do want you to.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not competing
Are we
with
in
her
upside down
on
land?
Ori.
Are we doing everything backwards? Is Luke's way
Yeah.
of encouraging me? Like,
Every bit of shade that I throw at you is only designed to make you stronger. That's the whole thing there. So
you're building me up. You're going to break him down first.
Yup.
that's right.
What doesn't kill you?
Now the Luke Lancaster one was pretty funny,
That's so
and
cute.
I really did enjoy that episode.
Yeah.
That was super good. Yeah. Another one that came really close was the original Temp Jam moment when we had Yug on.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was gonna
yes.
be my runner-up.
That was pretty close. That was a hilarious episode. When you have a guest that registers a domain name for a gag that you've got running throughout the show, that's a highlight.
During the show.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, that was real good. But in the end, I think probably my favorite episode over the last 100 was actually, ironically, one of the only ones I wasn't on, which is when you guys reviewed Persona 5. And the
that was a
reason
good
why it's that episode
Yeah.
is because it was a really friggin' good one. Shout out to Christian who came on for that one too
Yeah.
and did a fantastic
High
job.
five.
It was really informative. It, you all sort of covered a good amount of detail and history of those games, and it was a game that I'm really looking forward to playing eventually. And I had interest because of that. But the big reason why is because for me, it was a unique experience of actually getting to listen to the show for the first time when I'm editing it, having not actually been part of it. So,
That's awesome.
Did you have a proud podcast dad moment where they're like, they're all grown up?
They're all grown up.
I kind of did.
Aww.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. Like it was definitely one of the best ones I think that we've ever done. So yeah,
Guys, too
super
many
enjoyed
feels.
that
This
one.
has been a full-on couple of weeks. Jesus.
So many feels.
My feels. All right. That was a good one. All right. Damn it. All right. Pull yourself together, Mimo. You can do this. Right. So we have to now guess what my favorite thing about the last 100 episodes are. And I'm going to say that this is tough because
Yeah.
I'm a fairly enthusiastic human being and I like quite a lot of things. Like, things are my favorite things. A lot of different things are my favorite things ever, and those types of things. And it is not, Ollie, the fact that you prepared for this episode, although I do heart that you prepared for this episode. That does speak to the inner organizer of me that you at least, prepared for this episode and you have
I
a
have
full
an
document.
actual Word document.
Yeah,
with
that-
words
that's,
and everything.
that's
Holy
one
shit.
of my favorite things from the last 100 episodes, but that's not it.
All right, well, can I have a guess at this one first?
Go
I
ahead.
have a reasonably good guess, I think. So my guess is the episode where you actually got to chat to directly for the first time Kristen Lindsay from Child's Play. Because I knew that for quite
right.
some time you had been a big admirer of hers and her work and Child's Play in general, sort of linked to some of the stuff that you've done IRL. And I remember how excited you got when I mentioned to you that I'd actually managed to get her to commit to the time slot. So that's my guess.
All right.
I'm possibly wrong, but I think it's a decent guess at
Taking
least.
it on board.
That was one of mine too.
That may have been all of one of ours.
It's a solid one, but
And the only other one, because I have so much trouble remembering, but my other guess would be episode 0 for you because it was episode 0 because it was the first time we got together as a crew to do this thing, and I think that would be very special for you.
yeah.
I mean, it's special for all of us.
But I'm a sentimental fool.
I was going to guess the Yug episode. Guess the Yug
Ah.
episode.
All right. Okay. So I had a top 3, and number 3, like the third best, was episode 0 because I'm a sentimental fool, and it's kind of awesome. And I've listened to that like a couple of times in the last couple of years because I just like to hear like where we were. And I remember when we were recording that, like that was a long time ago, like 2 years ago. We were all doing very different things with our lives, and now Ollie got a new house, and I moved house, and jobs and everything changed. So yeah, that was really cool. Second was the interview with the matron of PAX, because like Luke pointed out, she's such a huge inspiration to me and why I chose to do what I did previously. And it was just a true fangirl moment. Like, it was amazing. All of our guests are probably like second, because I really enjoy talking to them and getting their perspective and finding out how and where they got to where they got. But my number one
shout out to all of our guests, because we've had some fantastic ones.
Well done,
We
guys.
really have.
Well, we've had been so lucky. Like, we've had some great people come on the show and some great opportunities. Like, we had Joey on like way back in the beginning. We were talking about Warhammer from like a huge gaming studio, which just blew my mind. And that's why episode 0 was like one of my favorites, because like we didn't know like if this was a thing and what's going on, and now there's like a network of people that we're meeting, and it's full on. Anyway, no, my favorite moment of the last 100 episodes was forcing all of you to play How to Fool Boyfriend.
Oh, fuck you.
You're evil. You are evil. I love it.
I'm
I love
smiling
it so
much right now.
And I don't know how none of you guessed it. I love the weird and wonderful games, and every time, and because it was like early on when we were doing the podcast as well, like Crypt of the Necrodance was pretty cool because that was like a random thing that I found and was enjoying. But How to Fool Boyfriend, like I've always played weird and wonderful games, but I've never been able to get somebody else to play it with me, and you guys all did it. And every time Luke brings it up as like, you know, he hates that he had to play that game or whatever else, it's the best. It just gives you
the
warm,
evil
fuzzy
steeple
feeling.
fingers?
Easy evil steeple fingers. Yeah, reviewing.
You've just flipped my switch from nostalgic to flat out vindictive, so sure.
The secret side of Nemo.
Fabulous.
I love it, and everybody always talks about it. And how the fuck wouldn't you want to like talk about this game, especially if it's not your type of game? Just the best, just the best.
Oh, look, I think hitting both ends of the spectrum was something we had to do, but I didn't have to enjoy doing it.
Yeah, damn straight. There's like 90% of the other like games of the month that I have to play, so you're welcome.
It's fair.
Yeah, that was my favorite. So that's our last question that we had about each of us. The final question that I sort of suggested when we were coming up to 100 was a proposal of this sort of standard game where they say, you know, you're stranded on a desert island and you can take 3 things. And so I thought I'd sort of spin that around a bit. And we each have $100 US to spend on games from Steam. And you can only play these games for the next 100 episodes, which is roughly 2 years, guys. So given that we had to take a break for Christmas and we take a break for PAX, the 2 big events of the year.
Intense.
We have each gone through on Steam. We did say just Steam, didn't we? Or did we change that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've actually got the guidelines that we talked through in front of me. If you want me to just
Go
quickly
on,
whiz
rules
through them.
lawyer.
So
Yeah, rules lawyer, go.
So yeah, we had to set some rules for this because it was a little tricky. So it was the 100 challenge for the episode 100. We've each got $100 US. The games must be based on prices of regular rates, so no sales or specials. Bundles are okay as long as they're bundles that are always available. Games have to be available now, so we can't be talking about things that aren't released yet. If we list something that we already own, we obviously have to sort of account for the cost again. And no free games, because we could assume that, you know, whatever we spend our $100 on, if you've got 2 years of game playing, you probably just get free games on top of that, so we don't actually have to include those in this list. So, $100 challenge. How'd we all do? This is going to be interesting.
I mean, I'll happily go first. Mine's a weird, wonderful list, and then I can just sit back for a while and listen to all your justifications. So,
how many games are on your list? Can we start with that?
1, 2,
Let's start
3,
with a
4, 5,
count.
6, 7.
Okay.
I also have 7.
Considering your browsing yesterday, that is less than I expected.
Yeah, me too.
Well, okay, so
Oh shit, I have 7 as well.
yeah. Whoa.
I have 6.
Ooh, magic number.
Wow.
So, going into this challenge, I'm going to have to move my recording window. But going into this challenge, I was looking through, like I normally do on Steam, through like under $5 and under $10. I love to find like just the weirdest crap that you could imagine in the world.
How to Fool Boyfriend.
But yeah, How to Fool Boyfriend is how I found that. But what I ended up thinking was I have to play these games for 100 episodes. So for 2 years, these are the only games I can play. And so everything on my list had to be something at least interesting, had to be something like with replay value, or at least the ability to play with you guys. So some of these are choices because I know that we could play together. Well, a lot of them are. Yeah, so my big cost item was $45 is my most expensive game.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, and it is Divinity Original Sin 2 because we can play it together and everyone keeps telling me that it will consume my life. So it's got so much content. We can play D&D on there and all sorts of stuff. So I thought it was kind of good for the price and everything else. I did have Civ 6 on there, but we said no sale price and Civ 6 is still like $70. So that didn't leave me a lot of room. And also, you can play probably Divinity Original Sin. I'm assuming you can play in like bite-sized pieces as well. The second one, the second most expensive one was Armello. I mean, of course, I put Armello on there because that game is great. And they keep updating it. So in 2 years' time, God knows what the game will be. It'll be amazing. And I own it on multiple platforms. I can play it in alternate like AR or something probably by the 2 years' time. Who knows? So that's $20. Then we had Mushroom Wars 2, which I'm super excited. It's a new title coming out, so it's kind of new and like new hotness. And so it's like kind of new game that I can play, even though it'll be super old in 2 years' time. Mushroom Wars is a game that I played on PlayStation ridiculous hours, and it's basically a strategy game. It's really cool. It's $15. I recommend you check it out. You can play it multiplayer, you can play it by yourself and challenge yourself versus the game. But you're basically trying to send your troops against others and you choose like where to concentrate, but it's real time. So as you release your 100 troops to go one way, someone else could be attacking you. So I really enjoy it. It's a nice balance of strategy and fun. Mini Metro for $10 because that game is zen as. I really like that game, made by Dinosaur Polo Club, and I own it on 2 devices and love it. I love every second of it, and I can play it again and again and again, and the difficulty level is as difficult as you make it, really. Now we get into some weird ones, sort of. So,
Sorry, the mushroom one wasn't a weird one?
No,
Yeah, I was going to say.
it's not weird. Mushroom one's great. You should look it up. It's great. I'm going to be buying it anyway. Spoiler alert. We'll be reviewing it soon. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey is only $3 on Steam. And Abe's Odyssey was one game that I played on the PlayStation like to death, and I love it. And the fact that I could play like like that game and buy it for $3, are you kidding me? Just nuts. So that
He was
got in
one
there.
of my shortlisted favourite characters.
He's
the
so
coolest
good.
janitor in the world, or
Yeah.
all of the worlds.
Yeah, and he'd be like, they'd be farting all over the place. And yeah, it's great. Anyway, I found a game called Meadow. And Meadow is a online multiplayer game where you get to play as adorable animals from the forest, and you can wander around and like collect different skins to make yourself look cuter. And the art style of this game, so it's not like a cutesy chibi game. The art style of this game is gorgeous, and it is $3, which is nuts. So in doing this, I found another game that I probably will purchase this weekend. And try and have a go at it. And so Jam and I can roam around as bears in the forest, and you can communicate with other people much like Journey. You can't use words, but you can use like emotes and sounds, and like you speak your own animals' languages and all sorts of cool stuff. So that sounded really cool, and it's pretty, so bonus. And the final one that I bought is because I enjoy playing games with Jam, and I bought Portal 2 for $2.
Oh, cool.
Which, at least we could play together and you could share with me your love of puzzle games, and I can try and figure out why it is that you enjoy puzzle games so much.
Imogen, I'm just going to say Portal 2 is a game you should definitely play, and doubly so, you should definitely play it with Jam.
Says Luke, who only did it the one time and then never again.
Oh, we will do it again at some point. Playing Portal with Jam is super fun. It really is.
I watched the videos.
She's seen the footage.
Yeah, the one where you get squished by the door. Primo footage. That was pretty tight. I did enjoy that. I had a little bit of a lull. So yeah, that they were my games. That was my $100 on Steam. I had like $1 to spare. There you go.
Solid list.
All right. Should I go next?
Go
I'll go
for it.
next.
Sure.
Why not, right? So, my list is similarly varied, actually. I wanted some that was some long single-player games and some good multiplayer games in there, and then just some random wackiness in there as well. So Armello's on my list. $20.
Yay!
Armello, because I love that game. It's a great game. The reason I took so long to get around to playing it is because I knew I would lose a lot of hours to it. Maybe not 200 plus hours like one trooper on our podcast, but still. The other one, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, I can't not play. I could play that game over and over again. There's so many mods and good shit out for it now. It's amazing. I love it. The other game I decided I would like to play, because it's online, I can play with you guys and other people as well, 7 Days to Die. $25.
Okay.
Because I didn't put Minecraft on here because I prefer 7 Days to Die to Minecraft, my own personal preference. And so I put that on there because it's just good fun, open world. You can have biffo, you can just do scrounging, you can just make stuff however you want, really. Another one for good value for money for a single player. The only reason I had to pick this one is because it was on the cheaper side. I would have picked the newer one, but it's a bit pricey for my budget. So Fallout New Vegas.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I looked at this one. It's like $5 at the moment. isn't it?
10. 999.
Oh my
10.
gosh.
Yeah, so there's so many mods and all sorts of bits and pieces, and it's a lengthy game with a lot of content. So the only reason it's not Fallout 4 is because my budget couldn't fit it. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas for me. A wacky one, golf with your friends. I actually really like it. It's a fun game. So I would happily play that. And there's lots of new stuff being released, so it's good for it.
We'll be talking about that in the first episode of December, so it'll be good fun.
Another weird wacky one that we all need to play, Stick Fight, the game. $5. It just looks manic. It's just manic. And I'm okay with that. I love the occasional manic game. And then to round it off, the capstone for value for money, both multiplayer, single player, and just anything. Gary's Mod, $10.
Ah.
Now, question for you, Ollie, because I nearly included that, but I didn't because of one reason. Don't you need to have the other games that Gary's Mod sort of links to in your collection for it to work?
It depends on which ones, and if you're a little bit cheatsy doodle, you can get those textures and stuff from other places.
Right, okay.
Like
that was the only thing that
CS:GO
stopped me.
assets.
Yeah. So yeah, Gary's Mod, oh my god. Regular Gary's Mod, hilarious. Trouble in Terrorist Town, fantastic fun. Like, murder, prop hunt, there's so many variations. Like, it's just value for money. Like, comedy gold every time. So,
Solid list.
And I had $4 left over. Apparently I could fit Abe's Odyssey on there.
Nice.
Or Meadow. I think you'd like Meadow.
So yeah, I got a little budget room. Fit some
Nice.
little games in. But yeah, that's my 7.
Well, I also had Arbello on my list, 100%.
Solid,
There was
solid.
no way that it was not going to be there. I also had Stick Fight because that looks hilarious and it's only $5. And I had Mini Metro. Yay!
Hooray!
That was my Zen choice of I just want to zone out and do something repetitive for a while.
Nice.
My others that I've added, I had PUBG. I wanted a shooter on there. I wanted one that I could play by myself or with friends, and that offered a lot of variety over time. And I think PUBG is going to be around for a while. And I'd hate not to have it over the next 2 years, I think. I chucked Starbound in there because that has a special place in my heart. And I've already so much time in that game. It's like a side-scrolling Minecraft. It's glorious. It's great as a single-player game. It's great with friends if you set up a server. I just adore it. Best crafting system I've ever played with. Papers, Please. Who's played that one?
Oh, so
yes.
good. That
Yep.
game is great.
I nearly considered that.
It's only $10, and I was like, this is a game that I will forever, every now and then go, I really want to play it. It's just
It
so
is pretty great.
kooky. And, it's one you can pick up and put down, but it's always entertaining and amusing. And I just love it. Trying to be the customs person checking people's passports. It's just so bizarre for the glory of, was it Astotska? Atroska? I can't even remember the
Truska or something
country.
like Trusky, yeah.
Oh, so good. What else did I have? I haven't played this, but it reviews really well, and I've been keen to try it. It's Cook Serve Delicious. It's a restaurant sim. And I'm guessing I will be able to play that repeatedly. So I wanted something a little like Overcooked to get me through the next 2 years, and this looked great. It's only $10. So that was my 7, but it was really hard to come up with this list.
It was a hard list.
I had to cut a lot of stuff.
I had to cut Podger. That hurt. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. All right. Well, wow. Yeah, this was tough. I did not include Arbello. Sorry, guys.
You fail!
Yeah, the reason why I didn't is because I figured that it would only work if you all picked it, and you all fucking did anyway. So I should have just assumed it would. But also, I kind of went for stuff that was a bit new or older games that I haven't played yet, so I could do some fresh stuff rather than just doing the same old, same old. So I've got quite a bit of new stuff on my list, or stuff there's stuff on here that I actually have in my library that I haven't played yet. So, all right, so the first one that I put on there, I decided that I do a lot of mobile gaming, so I wanted one non-Steam game that was actually an iOS game on there. So I hunted high and low for something that would be worthy of the Hearthstone time space, and I couldn't find anything that would be quite that worthy. But I did find one thing that I thought would be an awesome mobile game to sort of sit back on for the next couple of years, and that is actually the iOS version of Crypt of the Necrodancer. So
you didn't go Lightseekers? I thought you would have gone Lightseekers. Oh, no, it's free. Dang it.
Yeah. So Crypt of the Necrodancer is on iPhone and iPad for $4.99, so I thought that'd be a solid one. It seems like a really good game for those platforms. So, chuck that on. I love the hell out of that game. So moving on to actual PC games, the first one I've got on there, which is one that I've been meaning to play for a while and I know is very good and seems like my kind of game, is The Binding of Isaac. So,
that.
It's an interesting game. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it was only $4.99, so it seemed like a cheapie to chuck on there, and I thought I'd have a bit of fun with that. So that was in there. The next one was pretty much a no-brainer after a bit of news came out this week, and that is for $19.99, I put on the Orange Box because that gives me Half-Life, Half-Life 2, Portal, and Team Fortress 2. And there's a new Team Fortress 2 mod coming out. It's 2017, and there's a new Team Fortress 2 mod coming out with like a new multiplayer map. It's
called
ridiculous.
Overwatch.
Yeah, it's very similar to Overwatch. Actually, you should go and look at the trailer for it. It's like a Welcome to the Jungle kind of trailer. It is hilarious. It's so good. I would totally use that as like an Overwatch substitute to not have to pay the full cost price of Overwatch for this particular challenge. So, I thought that'd be a good one. Now, the next one is one that I've actually played before, but I love the hell out of it, and it was pretty cheap, and it's a good number of hours that I can get out of this one again. And I wanted a bit of a strategy kind of game without breaking the bank, so I actually picked Rome Total War.
Ooh, good choice.
Solid
good
choice.
Yeah.
It's one of the better Total Wars for sure. If I was going to pick out of all the Total Wars, I'd go with one of the Warhammer ones, but they're a lot more expensive at the moment for obvious reasons. So
I didn't pick one.
Yeah, so I went with Rome because it's a great game and I do love that time period as well. Next on the list is the big one that fills up precisely 50% of my budget.
Jesus.
Now, Mimo, I was very, very close to picking Divinity Original Sin 2 for the same reason.
Divinity
Original Sin 2 for the same reasons you mentioned, because it would be a great way to play D&D. It's a new game, a lot of content. The reason why I didn't is because it is a new game and I figured I'd probably get something a bit, different that I would want to play through, maybe that's priced better for what it is. So the one I ended up going with was actually a game that I own but I haven't played yet.
Than Divinity.
Well, I spent the same amount but potentially got more content, maybe. Ollie could probably tell me if it's more content or not. So I went with the Game of the Year edition of The Witcher 3. That is all of the first 2 expansions, I believe. I think it's missing the last one. But Witcher 3, I know there's a good number of hours in that. And I really, really, really want to play it. So I put that... Yeah, I know it's a really good game. So that's kind of the big one. Yeah.
I wish we had $200 to spend.
It pained me that there was no Witcher bundle. I was like, how is there no Witcher bundle? What is this?
With everything? Yeah. I got $10 left. So for the last little bit, I put on a game that has actually been recommended to me by a bunch of people over in the eastern states that I've spoken to over the last year. Who just rave about it constantly, and I know that it's very, very good, and I think it's one that I'm going to have to look at some point soon anyway. and that is FTL, Faster Than Light.
Oh, mate, that game will make you swear.
You will rage.
Yeah,
Rage
no,
quit
no,
so
thank you.
hard.
You can take that.
So it's a
all you.
roguelike spaceship simulation
Yep.
game.
Yeah.
So,
Question:
Yep.
Did you choose any games that were multiplayer?
Yeah, Team Fortress.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
but okay.
Question: didn't we agree it was Steam? Because I didn't put Minecraft on there because I thought we said Steam. Otherwise,
Oh, look,
Minecraft would 100% be on there.
Normally, Minecraft would be my first pick as well for the same reasons, but I decided to challenge myself and not go with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, but you chose
Yeah.
an iOS.
I did, but I feel like I had a good reason.
It does have a grounding in Steam. It's
Yeah,
on Steam.
true.
Well, that was fun.
Interesting.
Well, yeah. I don't know. 2 years or Gem. Ollie and I are going to play games together, and good luck, Luke. See you later.
See you, Luke.
Yep. Bye, Luke.
Bye. Nice to know what we mean to you.
Brutal.
Fatality.
We'll just find some free to play games we all play together. That's how that
Nah,
works.
you broke it.
All right, so to round out the big 100 tonight, we did actually put the feelers out and have asked for some listener questions, and a bunch of people have come to the party and sent them in. So for the first time in a while, we're going to be running a little segment that we once upon a time called Loaded Questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
All right, so first up on the list, we have a couple of questions from Dinny. Now, I'm going to mess up his surname, Mimo. You're going to have to correct me. Dinny McGettigan, is that right? Or is it McGettigan?
I think it's McGettigan
Wow.
or McGettigan.
McGettigan.
Yeah.
He's totally going to
Oh
slap me
my
at
god,
PAX.
he totally is. He's going to see you in 2 weeks. He'll be like, dude.
What?
All right, let's just go with Vitamin Dinny. I
Yeah.
think that he'll be happy with
Vitamin
that.
Dinny. Yeah, Vitamin Dinny
Vitamin
was
Dinny.
Pastor Makenaut from last year. Mm-hmm. And solid
Yeah.
fan of the show.
Absolutely. So Dinny sent in a couple, which are fun ones. First one he asks, Ollie, do you want to read that out? Just up the top there.
The first question was, what's the very first game you clocked, as in saw the credits for, played it all the way to the end?
All right, so rapid fire. Let's go around the circle. Mimo, what about you first?
Super Mario World.
Ooh, okay. Ollie?
Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Master System 2.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay. Jan, what about you?
My memory's shot, but I'm pretty sure it's original Spyro.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Mine's going to be This Is How Old I Am, guys answer. First game I ever finished was actually a text-based adventure game in the style of the old multi-user dungeons, which was called Pieces of 8. So
Oh
it was
god, you are
a game
old.
where you
You're
actually...
so old.
Yeah, I know. Super old.
Old.
There's a game where you actually play like a person who's been washed up on like a pirate cove, and you have to sort of run around and basically use all of the old style text commands to move north south, pick up object, insert key indoor, all that kind of stuff. Super fun. Like I actually got to play that one at school of all places, which sort of led to an opportunity with an academic extension program to actually make my own games of that type as well. So I got to code some text adventure games, and yeah, that was probably one of the early things that actually got me loving gaming. So there you go.
Nerd.
All right, Mimo, what's the next one we've got here from, what is it, Ben?
From Ben, or otherwise known as Cuzza on the internet. Ben is, it's like history of people who ask the questions. Ben is a friend of a friend that I met, and we both love PAX, and he is an enforcer for PAX Australia, and is well known in the enforcer community. He's a great kid all around. He recently had a little baby. It was very exciting. And his question is awesome. So his question is, what 10 words can follow Super Mario to form the titles of released video games? They should be Super Mario blank with no other words following the blank or before the word super. Numbers do not count as they are not a word, nor do hyphenated words as they are 2 words. So...
Now, I should probably mention that this question, I think, has been taken from a recent episode of the Giant Beast Cast, because I actually know all the answers because it got mentioned recently on that. So I'm going to adjudicate for this one because otherwise it'd be pretty cheaty because I kind of know them from listening
all
to
right,
that recently.
I only
So,
have 3.
yeah.
Do you guys
Yeah, me
have
too.
guesses
Okay.
as well? Okay, I have...
I got some.
Okay, go for it, Ollie.
Oh, okay. I had Maker. Because Super Mario Maker.
Oh, of course.
I know that one.
I'm an idiot.
I know that one. Mario Kart.
Yep.
because I know that one.
That's one of them.
Mario Galaxy.
Yep, that's one of them.
Don't ask me how I know that one. I just do. And then there was Mario World.
Yep.
I know that one. And then was there a Super Mario Brothers game, or am I making that
Yeah.
up?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
said all
so-
of the ones that I knew.
Technically, it was Super Mario Bros. That was the one that was
Bros,
always
right,
printed.
yep.
So,
Bro.
yep.
was that
So you got
Luigi
5?
and stuff?
That's 5. That's 5.
And then what was the last one? I had it. I just had it in my head. Where's it gone? Moving really fast. Run.
God, those
Yes.
are the other ones that I had. Yeah, Super Mario.
That's
Run.
all I got.
That's all I had.
I got nothing.
Yeah,
That's all I
don't
had.
think
got.
Solid,
We got
man.
6.
I had 3 of those.
Yeah, I had
Nice.
3 of those.
All right, shall I mention the ones that you're missing?
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
there a
you had
universe?
Bros or Brothers. No, Universe isn't on there.
Okay.
You've got Super Mario Strikers,
Oh, never heard of that.
which I think
Strikers?
was a soccer one they did. I actually don't remember it.
Oh, okay, that would make sense then.
Yeah. Galaxy you mentioned already, I think.
Yep.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh,
What?
that's a weird one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that was one of the 3D Mario platformers. I think it might have been on the Wii. I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe it was the GameCube. I'd have to look that up. Maker you had, World you had. On the original Game Boy, or was it Game Boy Advance? I can't remember. Super Mario Land. Remember that one?
See, I wrote
that one.
adventure, and I was like, no, it wasn't adventure, but it was something like adventure. There we go.
Bollocks.
Yeah. No,
you
I
go.
finished Super Mario Land. I think, I could be wrong, but I think Super Mario Land was actually the first Mario game where Wario was introduced as the enemy. Yeah, instead of
No one likes
Bowser.
that guy.
So, Kart you had, Run you had, and the last one on the list is Super Mario Advance, which, if memory serves, is the alternate name for Super Mario 2.
Yes.
Because it was actually published
Oh.
as Advance.
in
did not know that.
different.
I
Yeah,
think.
it wasn't listed as 2 in some weird place.
So there you go. That's the Marios.
There you go. The random ones. All right. Cool. All right. Next question. Luke, you want to read it out?
All right. Yeah, I'll read the next one. So this is a really cool one. Comes to us from Lauren McLean from OK Games. And the question is,
Clean,
what
but
is
okay.
our...
Tight.
McLean.
Doing great with words.
I
Doing
get all
great with the words.
die hard on it.
Send your complaints too.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. All right, favorite game in your least favorite genre. So I guess we should probably, as we do these, state what your least favorite genre is. So, Ollie, what's
All
yours?
right, I got this one. This is easy. So my least favorite genre is sports and racing. And to cover both of those, Rocket League.
Mine's the same.
High five.
It was
Good job.
Sports Ball and it was Rocket League.
Sweet. Well, my least favorite genre is FPS, and my favorite game in that genre is Destiny. Or Destiny 2, technically, I guess. Because I never played the first one.
My least favorite genre is sports. Racing, not so much. I actually do enjoy racing games.
Yeah, same.
And my favorite game in that genre is actually Blood Bowl on PC.
Hey, good choice.
Ooh, nice.
Which is a bit of a cheaty choice because it's more of a board
I
game.
really liked
still
this
the
question.
same.
All out.
Top marks, Lauren. That was an awesome question. I like it.
That was a good one.
right.
Jam, next question.
The next question is from Anthony Murphy from the Semicast, and it's a good one. Which villain in video gaming do you think had the most justification for their actions?
All right.
All right, I'm going to go
Go, Ollie.
first so that
Oh, okay.
Luke doesn't
All right, go Mimo.
potentially do a thing which I've realized would be a bad thing. And I'm just
You-
going to...
you won't pick the same one as me.
I can't say what the villain is. I'm just going to say what the game is, and Ollie and Luke, you will understand. And that would just be Horizon Zero Dawn.
And I will
Right.
say that
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I understand because I'm pretty sure Simo dropped a spoiler.
Oh, boo.
Bloody
But-
Simo.
I will not go any further. I similarly have a game that I don't want to say anything about. The game is The Last of Us.
Oh, yes.
And the
I've got to play that.
justifications for the people in that game are just heartbreaking. So 100% that was my answer.
Okay. My one is a very different one. Mine's Alma from the Fear series.
Oh,
So-
I have no idea who that is.
Is that the
She's
chick?
she's the little scary ghost girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is like she fucks everyone up in that game because she's been like horribly traumatized for her entire life and then just like essentially surgically raped to breed an army.
Oh God.
Sounds
So
great.
yeah, she's got every right to splatter people against a wall basically as far as I'm concerned.
Nice. Well, mine is one that you actually need to play multiple games to understand the reason why, but I'll give you the clip notes, and it is Revolver Ocelot from the Metal Gear series. Revolver Ocelot's actually one of the bosses in the original Metal Gear Solid, and he's basically like a smarmy kind of gunslinger character that's involved in the upper echelons of a lot of the sort of terrorist organizations that you face throughout the different Metal Gear games. But if you play through them in an order that sort of gives you the chronological steps as to where he sort of starts and where he ends up, you realize that he's actually one of the best method actors of all time, because he's actually on the side of the good guys and trying to bring down like the Patriots, the organization that's kind of behind a lot of the evils in the different Metal Gear games, because he's kind of like a double or triple agent in a lot of the storylines. And there's some really fucking weird stuff that happens with him later on in the story, towards the end of Metal Gear Solid 4. But yeah, he's a very, very complex character. You probably need to read a bit about him to kind of understand why, but he has definitely got one of the best justifications for his actions in that series. So yes, that's my pick.
All right, I guess I'll do the next question. So this is from Jason, one of our listeners. Has there been any pieces of in-game music that you would listen to outside of the playing the game? Yes.
Can I start?
No, I will.
My answer is yes.
Ollie's
My
answer
answer is yes. I have multiple game soundtracks downloaded, and I listen to it on a
Ollie's a good one for this
semi-regular
one,
basis.
All of
Moving on.
everything.
I'm also a
So
bit of
much.
an audiophile as well, especially for good games. But there is two soundtracks that I play regularly, and that is Crypt of the Naked Dancer when I'm trying to get work done, and Horizon Zero Dawn when I finish work and I want to chill out. So they're really good. Some of the Horizon Zero Dawns are a bit full on, but yeah, the soundtrack for that was great.
Mine's super easy. It's Doom. Doom is the greatest video game soundtrack of all time, in my opinion. Man, it is so freaking amazing. So Mick Gordon did a absolute godly job on that soundtrack. I could listen to it for days and not get sick of it. But special shout out to a website that I actually have recently come along and been sort of listening to a fair bit of music on. It's called Overclocked Remix, or OC Remix. So you can check it out at ocremix.org. And it's a site where you can go and find a whole bunch of really polished sort of redone versions of classic video game themes. You should check it out. I will particularly recommend some of the old Mega Man tracks that have been reworked, because there's some really, really good ones there. So Passing of the Blue Crown, I think, is one of my favourite ones, if you look that up. So there you go.
For me, definitely the soundtracks I've listened most to are Fallout. I love the old-timey 40s and 50s big band music.
Oh, that's a
and
good
I
one
spent
too.
so many hours just poodling around in the Fallout worlds, listening to that music while shooting the shit out of stupid, scary things. I adore. I used to, when I had, my own space at work, I would have that playing.
I want to change my favourite thing of the last 100 episodes, and that's converting Jam to say poodling around.
I love it. It just fits.
Oh, dear.
Jam, I'm surprised you didn't say the music from GTA 5.
GTA 5 is another one that I do love, but I don't listen to much outside of the game. I've listened to a bunch of Persona 5 and Crypt of the Necrodancer, but by far and above, I don't listen to a lot of music outside of video games. So Fallout's pretty special in that regard, in that I've listened to hundreds of hours of those songs on loop. I just find most of them, except for some of the really crazy fast-paced ones, so soothing and wonderful background music, and they just bring back all the nostalgia for me.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Ollie, did you have any particulars, or were you happy with
There's too
just
many.
sort of saying?
There's too many.
He listens to everything. Everything that he ever enjoyed. If he ever said he liked the music, he's got the soundtrack, guys. Just
Pretty much.
he found a way.
Yeah.
I want to ask the next question because this was also from Jason, and it's a little bit cheeky, and that's because we play games with Jason, and I think he knows exactly what our answer would be. And basically, he's asking who was the second best game player in the group, and the best part of this episode is that Jam was like, well, that's a cheeky one because we don't know. And I'm like, well, I know. It's not Luke or I. That's for damn sure. And then Luke and I high-fived over the internet. I'm out.
Yep, it's not us.
It's not us.
Guys, by
It's
process of
100%
elimination,
not
that
us.
means it's Ollie.
No, hang on. Doesn't that
I
mean that
agree with
Nemo
that,
and I
actually.
actually need to be the judges here?
Bullshit.
I do think that Jam is the better all-rounder gamer of the four of us.
I agree with that.
I do think there's games that Ollie's definitely better than Jam, but I think Jam, you've got a
hells yeah.
consistent high level of skill in multiple games.
Oh, thanks.
I would agree. I would
I
definitely
had
agree.
no idea you thought that way. I guess I just tend to remember every time I goof.
Well, no, Jam, you've got this infuriating natural aptitude to be like totally unpracticed at something and pick it up really quickly, which fucking annoys me, I gotta say.
doesn't annoy me. I'm just always-
that makes me so happy.
I'm always in
my
awe.
God, this episode
So yeah,
makes me
Ollie,
so happy.
you are the second best game
Oh
player
no, like
in our
I
group.
agree. I agree.
You could also take this to be like, game player as in, player. And then that's definitely not me. I'm the best.
Jam is definitely
so.
a player.
I'm such a player.
Oh dear. All right. The
hilarious.
last one is super cheeky and it's Jason again. And Jason, I will find you and I will kill you. What is more likely to happen first? Luke finishing Undertale, Memo finishing Ori and the Blind Forest, or a random person finishing both games? And
Random person.
no, I don't think if Jason, you are listening. I know you probably are. If not, we will tell you to listen. Just for the last 10 minutes of this podcast. So I can say, if you can finish Undertale and Ori and the Blind Forest before I do, more power to you. But I do not think it's going to happen.
Ooh,
That would
okay.
be interesting.
So for anyone who hasn't sort of kept up with this, we should probably explain the situation because I think people don't get why this is a thing. So Mimo and Ori in the Blind Forest is an interesting relationship sort of born out of frustration with difficulty level, from what I understand, more than anything.
Yes. I love
Undertale
the
for
game.
me is not that. Undertale for me is I just don't enjoy the game. So I find it hard to motivate myself to get back to it.
But the
sounds like
thing with
frustration.
Undertale is that, and the thing with Ori, so I love Ori and the Blind Forest, Luke is right, but it's got a massive difficulty curve. Platformers are not my strength. And all those different things. But I really love the game. And I got all you guys to play it because I became obsessed with it. And you all loved the shit out of it, thinking that you wouldn't. And so now I really want to finish it. The thing is that both Luke and I promised to finish these games. And we have yet to do so. And it has been 2 years. So...
So my answer is that I will definitely finish Undertale before you do, Ori.
I don't
You think you'll
will
finish
answer.
Undertale before I
do not
finish
think you
Ori?
will, is my answer.
What's the wager here? What's at stake? There needs to be stakes.
No, I don't think that is... No stakes. No stakes.
Vampire stakes.
I
Like a
think
steak
the
dinner.
pride
There you
on
go.
the line
I'm
is
committed.
sufficient.
My
Actual
hard,
steak.
like my drop dead date is I want to finish Ori and the Blind Forest before the new game comes out. This is the next iteration because I need to know the end of the story, and I feel like it will happen by the end of this year. That was
My
my
date
commitment.
was before PAX and I fucked that up. So
my date was the end of the year. It was a game I was going to play, and it was in line with playing all the AAA titles. So I was taking on a pretty lofty goal, but I don't know. I think Undertale and Ori and the Blind. I think Ori and Blind Forest is a decent chunk of game. I mean, Jason probably has more disposable time than I do potentially, so he has that in his favor. But I don't know. I think that I will challenge you to do so, Jason, just so you play the game.
Do it.
Yeah,
good call. Sweet.
it's a great game.
All right. Well, anyway, we should probably wrap it there because that's a whole bunch of questions. Thank you to everybody who went to the effort of sending some in. That was greatly appreciated.
were cool.
You've been a great part of our big celebratory centenary episode. So that is awesome. Big round of applause for everyone who made the effort.
Yay! Insert applause
Just
effect.
sounds like fapping.
Oh man, that's not
Jesus.
cool.
All right. Well, anyway, we should probably just quickly cover off our schedule for the next couple of weeks because obviously we have got PAX coming up. So this is going to be one of the scheduled weeks where we do not have a show next week. So we are taking 1 week break. And then when we get back, of course, we're going to have a whole bunch of things to talk about from our adventures over in Melbourne. So
Yeah, we'll probably have 2 episodes of PAX related
Easy,
business alone.
easy.
well, yeah, that and all the other games that are coming out on that weekend. Holy crap. My God, there's a lot of things
Yeah,
happening
if you
in the
guys
next
can
few weeks.
tear yourself away from Destiny 2 on PC, that is. Although Jam and I will only just be home for the next
Yeah.
episode, so
Yeah. I will have been sleeping all day in recovery.
Yeah, so I guess there's not a lot of point talking about what games we're going to be playing between now and the next episode because there's going to be too many to list. So
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we could just very, very quickly say if there's sort of anything you've got your eye on at PAX that you want to check
yes,
out.
I
So,
have a thing.
Yeah.
I have two games. Oh gosh, what was it called? Okay, number one, if you're going to PAX, check out a game, and if someone could Google the makers of this, they'll both be in the PAX indie section because that's where I live at PAX. I'll be there. Say hi. Paperbark. It is a beautiful watercolor game where you play as a wombat trying to survive environmental conditions, and it's stunning. It sort of like popped up in sort of news feeds and people were sharing about it, and they said that they would be at PAX. 100% check it out. It looks gorgeous. When we were talking about Never Alone and we were talking about like sharing culture and things like that, I really like that we've got more games about Australiana. The second one is not that at all. It is a game called Rumu, Rumu, and it is a game about a sentient house vacuum cleaner that you get to play with, and yes, you can organize for a cat to be on top of your vacuum if you play the game just right. And it looks
both look delightful.
Great. I think Rumu is out, but Paperbark not yet, but both of them will be at PAX. Check them out. Going to be great.
Paperbark, I think, is from Paper House.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm reading that correctly. It's a game that's been made with some support from Film Victoria as well.
Oh, wicked.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm just looking up.
I think it's from Robot House.
Yes, it is Robot House. Okay. That's right. Yeah, it's great. I just Googled Rumu really quickly and I got answers for rum. So there you go. Fun times.
A couple of things I'm looking forward to checking out at PAX, not in the Indie Showcase because I can't wait to see all of the Indie Showcase. They've announced that Acquisitions Inc. is coming to PAX Oz, and and I know it's themed, and I know you guys are skeptical, but I've been hanging out to see a cool D&D based game at PAX.
Yeah,
so.
we will definitely be there.
Yeah,
people who we know that are going, come hang out with us. That'd be super cool.
The other cool thing is AGPN are doing a party mode.
Oh yes,
section. Yeah, where a bunch of Aussie podcasters are going to game off, basically. So I think that's going to be pretty hilarious.
That is on Saturday 4:30 in the main theatre. It's going to be awesome. If you listen to the show and other Australian gaming podcasts, there's a lot of shows involved, even if we're not on stage. Like a lot of people have supported, and you'll see some logos and stuff going up all over the place. Please come and support local podcasters. They're all just people like us who are doing this, and doing a day job. So I think it'll be really cool.
Yep. Although I have to say, party loaded not being on stage seems like a fail. But anyway.
We'll bring the party to the room. We're bringing our party with us. That's what we're contributing. So there you go.
Cool. So I'm super looking forward to that. We're obviously going to be at the Child's Play Charity Trivia Night, or 3 out of 4 of us will be at least, on the Wednesday nights before PAX at Game Lab.
Yes.
In Melbourne City. So yeah, absolutely. So we'll be catching up with Owen there.
And 3 new friends.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a bunch of new friends there. I don't know if they've still got any sort of tickets available for that event.
They've got six
available.
6 available. I think 3 are on the table with the Australian Pokemon League guys, so they'll be really cool to hang out with. And the rest are all looking for groups, so just random, on their table of strangers that we were talking about in our UN episode.
Yep.
Get on it.
What was the table name we all agreed on for that one? There was a particular one we had.
Devil's Dandruff.
That's right. Devil's Dandruff.
Devil's Coriander. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I guess that's it. I was going to say any final words. Sounds like we're dying. No.
I just want to say thanks, guys. It's been great. And we've nearly killed each other maybe 5 times, but we're still doing a podcast, so good job.
Yeah.
Here's to number 6.
Yeah. 5 times over 100 episodes seems like a fairly good ratio. Our KD ratio is right there.
Yeah, we're nailing it.
Yeah. All right.
Please come hang out with us at PAX if you're going. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. We will post up all the deets in the Facebooks.
We're coming home, people. We're coming home.
Yeah. All right, but until then, have a great time. Play lots of games. We'll speak to you all again in 2 weeks' time. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for being part of our first 100. And here's to 100 more. Good night, everybody.
Bye, friends.
We'll see you then.
Hurrah!
The Party Loaded podcast is a Channel Endgame production. For this and more great gaming content, bookmark channelendgame.com.
Hey, Party Loaded, Patrick from France here. Happy 100th episode! Woohoo! Clap, 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 and all of that. And audience, if you think the 100th episode is fun, wait to see what happens in the 200th episode. I'm not going to say anything, but it's kind of crazy. All right, have a good one.
Hey gang, Matt from Stir-Fire Studios here, wanting to congratulate you on hitting 100 episodes. I mean, only one of them has me in it, so there's some room for improvement, but nobody's perfect. I look forward to listening in for another 100 episodes and then 100 more.
All right, starting the show in 5, 4, 3,
Fallopian tubes.
2.
Ugh. Don't make me come over there.